we're going to keep on with Arsenal, though. Talking about taking gambles. The transfer window is coming up, and Arsenal need reinforcements, especially in that midfield. And there are some players that have been coming up, and one player who apparently almost moved to Arsenal before is back on the radar in Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz of Aston Villa is apparently being lined up to be a reinforcement in January. LB, I'll come to you first on this one. Do you think Douglas Luiz is someone who could come in and elevate Arsenal and the Arsenal squad?
The squad, he'll elevate the squad 100%. Will he elevate the starting 11? Well, at the moment with Jorginho, probably. I think it probably tells me that his party. I know he's been injured, but like, what's going on there? That seems like he's probably going to get offered something to me, in my view. But yeah, I think it's a good signing. I still think they need an attacking player. I think Ivan Toney would be a great player for them. I think that's where I'd be looking at. They need to work out who's going to be providing long-term competition and cover for Saka. Said that in the summer, and I think I've been proven right, really, because he's had a couple of injuries and that he needs to be pushed, and he needs cover as well. Maybe that could be Jesus, because I still believe, based on what I've seen at City, that Jesus is a better winger than he is a striker. So I think, if you bring in Toney, then you've got Toney, Jesus, and Eddie Nketiah, who's probably not good enough, but you've got them three. You've got Jesus and Saka who can cover the right wing. You've got Trossard and Martinelli who can cover the left. Bring in Douglas Luiz. I still think there's something dodgy going on with Partey. I don't know whether he's going to go in January. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all right. I still think they need to, what they're going to do with the attacking left side, because Havertz ain't good enough, in my opinion. What they do there, I think they massively lost out on letting Xhaka go. He got 14 GNA last year. That's massively underrated, just how good that is for a midfielder who's not even like an attacking player. He's just sort of like a standard midfielder. He got 14 GNA last year. And I watched him, watched by Leverkusen against Karabakh. I was doing a Havertz watch along. I wasn't doing a Xhaka watch along. And he's just so chill. He's just so comfortable. And I think they missed that. So, yeah, obviously there's only so much they can do in January. Toney, Douglas Luiz, yeah, that's good. I still think they need an attacking player who can play that left-hand side, in my view. Unless they want Rice to be that guy and Douglas Luiz to be the 6. I don't know, but I don't know where Rice's best position is, man. I think that's something that's going to be found out probably this year and next. But signing Havertz to me was a bit of a gamble that they didn't need to take as well. But yeah, listen, Douglas Luiz, good signing. And if they get Toney, that's really good.
Rory, Douglas Luiz, what are your thoughts on him, bro?
Yeah, I think compared to, I think it was the summer before the one just gone that we first went in for him, and we really pushed Villa to try and get him, and they wouldn't let him go, and then he signed a new contract with them. So clearly there was interest there, and Arteta does have a habit of not giving up on players that he's been interested in. David Raya we originally wanted before we got Ramsdale, and he went back to him. So I can see us going for him, but I remember summer before last, we were fighting over whether we were going to pay like 22, 25 million for him. Whereas I think now Villa will probably want at least 50, given the way the market's gone. So I just don't think we got the money. From a lot of what I've heard, we don't have money to spend this January because of FFP. Like, we're right on the limit of FFP. So I definitely don't think we'll get Toney. And it sounds like Brentford aren't going to let Toney go in January anyway. They're going to try and get him to sign a new contract and sign him for more in the summer. So yeah, look, Douglas Luiz would be great. I think he would come in as a 6. I think Declan Rice's long-term position is that left-sided 8. And Douglas Luiz would obviously be a massive upgrade on what at the moment is a position that's almost entirely falling on Jorginho's shoulders. And then you've got El Neni. So clearly it's a big upgrade to the squad. Hopefully we can get him. Ruben Neves apparently is on the radar as well. Personally, I think I'd prefer Douglas Luiz to Neves, but yeah, we'll see. I just think he's going to be too much money.
Yeah,
for me, sorry, KJ, for me, this again just highlights how bad of a signing Havertz was, man. Like 60, 70 million quid on him was just completely unnecessary. And that money could have been spent a lot wiser. I wasn't against the signing of Havertz for Arsenal if it was cheap, if it was 20 million, gamble, yeah, fair dues. But 70 million quid, I just think is that is just shocking for me. And that combined with the Raya signing, I just think it's annoying. Not annoying for me, because I'm a City fan, I don't really care. But from an Arsenal point of view, I think it must be a bit annoying because you made such a good signing in Rice, such a good signing in Timber. Like, they're really good signings. And then you've just gone and you know what I mean, fucked it a little bit with signing Havertz at 65 million and signing Raya and then causing this drama with the goalkeeper. Like, you could have just signed Timber, could have signed Rice, and then just gone and spent the other money on another midfielder or an attacking player and just had a really solid set of players where he's kind of gone and got two good ones and then just sort of fucked it a little bit with the Havertz thing. I don't know. I think I'd just be really frustrated if I was an Arsenal fan. And now Rory's saying that they can't go out and spend in January. I don't know. I just look at it and I just don't think they've got enough in that midfield. I just don't think they've got enough for me.
It's been interesting how the midfield's developed for Arsenal because obviously Partey, Rice, and Odegaard was the dream, and you're just not being able to do it for whatever different reasons, whether it's Odegaard's form of or Partey just not being fit. It's just not materializing. So that you guys need that spark, and obviously Kai Havertz is an enigma in himself. It's just like kind of like Mason Mount and Man United. It's kind of like both of them just came to the clubs and everyone was scratching their heads like, what on earth is going on here? But Douglas Luiz, I think, will be a very good addition. He's solid. He can score. He can score goals from range and from the penalty spot, which is always useful. Free kicks as well. Arteta's worked with him at City a little bit before he left out for his adventures at Man City. So yeah, I think it'll be a good sign. It'll just be dealing with Villa though, because right now they're on a high. Like obviously, I'm from Birmingham. I live here. Villa fans are absolutely buzzing with their season so far, and I can understand why. They probably are one of the best teams in the Conference League, and they'll probably look to win that. They're going to be there now that it's top 5. They'll be fighting for that top 5 spot, potentially get Champions League as well. So, trying to get Douglas Luiz out of return of the Mac. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, trying to get Douglas Luiz out of Aston Villa, I think will be very, very difficult.
Especially because Rory's saying they don't have the cash for it.
Yeah.
And this is the problem that I see with Arsenal. I think signing Rice was obviously a great signing, but have they actually improved the squad? Obviously Timber's probably improved the defensive side, but I don't think they've really improved the squad, to be honest with you. And this is where I just think this is what I'm going back to a minute ago. This isn't me hating on Arsenal, by the way. This is my genuine opinion of like, this is why I just get a little bit like, why did they sign Havertz? Because they needed to bolster that squad. Obviously they didn't know Partey was going to be injured. They didn't know Timber was going to be injured. But I just feel like this is why I just don't think they're going to win the league, because I just don't think the squad's big enough.
Yeah, well, I think Havertz was an attacking signing. I think the intention of Havertz was meant to be a versatile player that could play across the front three and give us a different dynamic up there. It's just ended up that because Partey's not being fit, we've had Odegaard not being fit, that pretty much Havertz has only been deployed on either side of the midfield. So, I don't know. Obviously, injuries are annoying. Signing Timber and then having him out for the season is a nightmare.
Yeah, that is because he was looking brilliant.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, every team has had some big injuries so far this season, so we're not the only ones.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Before we go to super chats, we've got one more thing to talk about. It involves Arsenal, but not just Arsenal, because Rory did mention him. Ruben Neves is being looking like he's went for his big maneuver in Saudi Arabia. Already want to come back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got enough money to cover whatever debts or whatever thing you was trying to save up for. You know what I mean? I'm saving for a wedding and a house, so it takes me a long time to do that. These man's probably saving up for something huge. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's been saving for something mad. He's got the money, and now he wants to come back already. Arsenal linked with him with a loan move, but not just Arsenal. Spurs and Newcastle have also been linked with him as well, especially Newcastle, obviously with their Saudi links. Lots of contention with that, though. A lot of people saying that's another form of cheating, or there's another form of bending rules that should be changed. Rory, Ruben Neves, where do you think he will go, and do you think Newcastle should be allowed to get him on loan?
They definitely shouldn't be allowed to get him on loan, and I think there might actually be a rule that comes into play before January that stops them getting him on loan. They should be able to buy him. The issue is, and this is just going to become an issue that becomes bigger as time goes on, as there are more owners that own multiple clubs. It's going to become a problem where these instances are going to happen, where players will, it might not be as extreme as Neves going for 6 months and then coming back for a price that Wolves would never have sold him directly to Newcastle for. But I just don't know how you can get around it, because you can't suddenly